Alright, welcome to another wrap up, this time April.
You can't say you didn't see this coming. Finally got some inspiration right again.
Alright, so for April wrap up, I have my laptop, my notebooks, my phone, so it's time to kind of start this wrap up. I still have to fill out my notebooks with tons of stuff, so that's what we're gonna get to first, and then I will also talk about everything that has happened in April, but also what my analytics looked like for April, what I've been up to, and anything else that I can think of for this video. So I'm first going to be filling out some of the journal stuff. So I have my bullet journal, which I still need to fill out some extra stuff in. I'm pretty sure I haven't actually filled it out as much this month. So there's probably some books that I've read, some movies that I've watched, some series that I've watched that I still should be recording in here. So that's what we're gonna get to first. And then I also have to fill out my book reviewing journal kind of thing, so I try to keep up with everything that I read. And when I say try, yeah. Currently the list is not that long, and that is because I don't think I've actually put the books that I've read in March in here yet, which is not good because then I don't necessarily remember how well I like them, which is going to be hard for the star rating. But I think I did rate them on my phone when I did it for the Goodreads app, so I can always check. But that's what we're gonna do next. And then I forgot to bring out a journal actually. Let me go grab that. Then we also have in my old bullet journal, which is where I track my analytics in more detail for YouTube stuff. So I will be looking into what the watch hours and views and stuff like that in this journal. So that is something that I have to update as well. I think I also have to update my road to monetization, which I have on here, because I think we can cross up some more, because I know that I'm currently, I think, over 600 watch hours, and this one still says 300, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to update that. I don't actually know when I hit these things, so I can't really write down the actual date, but yeah, we're gonna see. Okay, so I've done the generic social media stuff and all the other generic stuff in the bullet journal. I think now I need to do the reflection page. I haven't even set up the reflection page. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that first, and then I can actually reflect on this month. Alright, that is done. Now on to the reading journal, which I feel like is gonna take a while. Okay, one last thing to do before I sit down and do a full let's talk. So next up on the journals is the analytics for YouTube. So let's do that, and then I'll sit down and talk to you guys. All right, let's talk. Okay, let's talk about April. April was obviously Camp NaNoWriMo, so I have been able to achieve my goal, even though I kind of switched my goal a little bit during the month, but I did do a full read-through of my book, which is kind of the goal that I had in mind, and I didn't necessarily want to set that goal, so I wanted to say, oh, I'll just do X amount of hours and I'll see if I reach it. But then I realized that the hours weren't lined up with the chapters, so I changed it to just doing the chapters, and managed to somehow pull it off. I really didn't think I was gonna make it, but if you have not seen those videos, I will leave them linked in the cards down below. There is a full playlist of all of my camp videos, so you can go watch them. as camp was going, I also had some live streams that I joined on other people's channels, so that was really fun. I had a couple that I joined. I also had a couple that I canceled because I was feeling very not good and I was feeling a little bit sick, so I also canceled one. And other than that, the live streams were a really great way to kind of push me to work on my book, and also in general just a fun way to interact with the community. So I don't know, I feel like I should do this more often because it is fun. So yeah. April, I also had some other things going on. So we had an Easter break, so that was just a long weekend where I was spending the time with my family. I also had a friend staying over for King's Day, so I just had a couple days where I really wasn't doing any work. And not that that isn't showing as much, because if I look at my hours spent this month, they were 154, and that compared to March, I think it was 150. So I really didn't do a lot less work. So these hours come from tallying up everything on my Forest app and kind of seeing how much time I spend towards each individual kind of item. I usually group them, so I have like author general, I have editing for the YouTube stuff, I have podcasts as like a thing, I have critiquing as a thing, I have Fiverr as a thing, I have revising as a whole different section. I just have like tons of different little sections that I plant trees for on the Forest app once I am working on these things, so I can kind of keep track of the hours I spend towards all of my creator life stuff. So I would say that was pretty good. I'm not gonna track my words just because it's difficult to track words when you're trying to revise and you're just cutting a bunch of stuff. So I haven't actually been tracking that, but that's fine. I will at some point track it again once I'm actually drafting something. But yeah, I feel like for general life stuff, I have been like up and down, obviously, because life is not stable and it's not always like, yay, everything is great. And my shirt very much reflects that. It's okay not to be okay. And I totally feel that because I have not been feeling awesome in 2023, and I have expressed that in many videos, but I just want to, you know, keep it real and let you know that it's okay. Like, it's okay if you don't feel awesome, and it's okay if you don't always reach all the goals that you want to do, or don't check off everything on your list, or feel like you're not doing all the things that you want to do, because that's definitely something that I feel all the time. But I also know that it's okay, and I just need to take it one step at a time and not focus too much on everything that I want to do, but just say, okay, well, I'm just gonna work on this one thing and that's what I'm gonna do, and then figure out the steps later. It is difficult when you feel like you have all this pressure on you and you feel like you have to do all these things, but at the same time, I know that if I just do one of those things, it's already gonna feel so much better. And that's something that I kind of have to remind myself of sometimes, that progress is progress, and I don't always have to take like 10 steps at the same time. Like, I can do one step at a time. Overall, I do feel like my mood has improved a little bit. I won't say like I'm awesome all the time, but I feel like there's more yay moments than not so yay moments, I think. And in general, I feel like now that I kind of know what is happening, which in case you don't know, basically I just have a low vitamin D level and I just have to pump it back up so that I probably will start feeling better, like energy wise and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on. I think now that I kind of know that it's not just me being in my own head, or me kind of doing this to myself in a way where I'm like, I just work too hard and that's why I'm tired, or I don't do this enough and that's why I'm tired, like that kind of makes me feel so much better that it's also something medical. Yes, I probably still work like a lot and that is definitely what makes me tired, but now that it's also something that is vitamin related that I can just like work towards and fix, it makes me feel so much better, because that way I know that I will improve. Even if I keep kind of going at the speed I'm going, you know, I will do more resting. I have been like more conscious of like, okay, well, I need to stop work, I need to kind of relax. I've watched like a couple series stuff and I've watched a couple movies this month. I've even started playing a game on my Switch when my friend was here for that day, and I kind of continued playing that. So I haven't taken more time to just chill and relax, and I've also picked up reading again at the end of the month. But I did pick up reading just because I feel like all of April, I haven't really read a lot. I did listen to 2 audiobooks. And then like on the last day of April, I managed to read through the book that my friend is putting out. My critique partner Colleen is having her book released on the 23rd of May, and I was able to read through that as like an advanced reader, but also as like a final proof check so that we can make sure her book is awesome. So I was able to read through that and finish that on the last day of camp. So I am going to count that as a book I've read in April because I did read it. So that means I have read 3 books this month. 2 were audiobooks, 1 was technically a digital copy, although I do have a physical copy. Don't tell anyone. So overall I feel like April was like a pretty good month, but yeah. Let's get into like the analytics and like some stats because I enjoy those things. If you're not here to enjoy that, then I apologize. You can skip this part if you don't want to watch it. But I kind of like tracking my growth just so I can see the growth and I can see that everything I'm doing and all the hard work I put into everything is going towards something. And I know, I feel like I say this every single time, numbers are not everything. But for me, it just kind of is like a validation of that my work is going towards something. When I don't necessarily see that in my book being like awesome all of a sudden, because that is not, you know, how book writing works, and that like instant kind of gratification or like instant reward is not always there with writing my book. So I feel like looking at my growth on other platforms helps me kind of feel validated, and I know that that's something I need to work on, but it makes me just feel better. So that's why I keep doing it. And if you're not there for it, that's also fine. You don't have to track, and I know that a lot of people are like, you don't have to look at numbers, like numbers should not be your validation. I know that, but it just makes me feel better, okay? So if I look at the general overview of all of my pages, right, all of my social media stuff, I did decide I was gonna stop tracking Hive because I don't do anything with it, and I'm also gonna stop tracking Twitch because I don't do anything with it. So we're gonna ignore that and just continue on with the rest of the stuff. So as for YouTube, I grew with 23 people this month, which is pretty good. All of my numbers have been going up, so that's good. But yeah, so I am now sitting at 174. I say now, but that is like end of April. Right now, I'm sitting at like 188. So we're growing, we're building this little community, and I'm really glad that you're part of it, so yay. Then for Instagram, I have grown a little bit as well. I'm currently sitting at 372, and I say this again, currently, but when I look at it now, it's a little bit higher, but it's fine. At the end of April, I sat at 208 followers on Twitter, 34 followers on TikTok. Then for the 3 writing amigas, at the end of April, we were at 44 subscribers on that page on YouTube, which I think is awesome. We are 1 subscriber away to reach 50. So if you have not subscribed to that channel, please consider going over there and subscribing on that channel. You can watch us as a podcast and not just listen to it on your phone when you're like doing it on any of the other platforms that have podcasts, because we are everywhere, I'll tell you. But you can also watch it on YouTube and come hang out with us there. So definitely be sure to check that out, or follow us on Instagram because we are currently at 100 followers sitting there at the end of April, which is pretty good. But obviously we would love for you to join us there. We post daily reels of all the things that happen in the podcast. We will take little snippets and show you to hopefully get you excited to listen to the podcast and just explore more of our journey and ourselves and everything that comes along with it. It's really funny that during the podcast, we as like the 3 amigas still learn so much about each other that we didn't know when we started this, and I think that is the fun journey because we didn't know each other. Like a year ago, I think, was probably when we started meeting and like having regular calls and everything, but we didn't know each other for that long, you know? So it's pretty cool, it's pretty interesting. Then on TikTok, we are sitting at 7 followers. So if you prefer TikTok over Instagram, you can also check us out there. We're also on TikTok. the same kind of content. TikToks will be posted every day to kind of give you a glimpse of all the different snippets of the podcast, so be sure to check that out. Then if we do like a little bit more of a deep dive into what YouTube side of my channel, I always like to track in like little graphs, and I'll put like a dot on it and then connect it. It just, yeah, it makes me feel really great. So I have looked at my impressions, which sat at 41,000 impressions, which I think is very impressive. Then the views have also gone up. I've gotten, I think, let me check. I feel like I should write down the number with these because I plot them with a dot, but I don't actually do like a lot of like, whatever. I'm sitting at 1,600 views this month. Then the click-through rate has actually gone up a little bit, which I was surprised about, but I'm currently sitting at a 1.7 click-through rate, which, considering I have like more impressions and then for a click-through rate to also go up, is pretty amazing for me. So yeah, that is also shown in the views that have gone up compared to last month, so I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. My watch hours have gone up as well this month, and so have the subscribers. Everything was just gone up in the graph. So yeah, but yeah, feeling pretty good about that. Like, that makes me feel awesome, honestly. So yeah. So quick recap of everything that's happened in April. Basically, life has been going up and down, but it's okay not to be okay, as my shirt says, and I'm fine with that. I have been able to achieve quite some stuff in April, which is awesome. I reached my goal for camp. I was able to read through all of my stuff, and just like awesome things are happening with that book. I feel like it's going to be so much stronger once I've gone through all the revisions, but that is going to happen during the course of probably May and potentially also June, because I don't know if I'll be able to finish everything in May, but we will continue working on this book. We're not going to leave it for 6 months again. We're just going to continue working on this, and I'm excited to continue working on this, which I feel is the biggest accomplishment so far of this month, just because I was not feeling great about my novel, and now I feel like I'm actually in love with it again. Like, I want to work on it, and I had lost that spark. So I'm very happy that that is happening. Then quick run back of other things that have happened this month. Awesome growth on all the platforms, doing good. Read 3 books, feeling good. I just feel like May is gonna be like such a good month. And I'm recording this on the 7th of May, so we're already a couple days into May, and I feel like so far things have been going great. I recently celebrated my 1-year anniversary, which there is gonna be a full vlog of that day next week, so be sure to check that out. And just in general, I feel really good about where I'm at, and not just with the book, but with like my community that I'm trying to build, and just like everything that is happening all around me, and just feeling pretty uplifted by all of it. So I hope that you will join me on this ride and on this journey of me kind of thriving and feeling awesome and continuing on this journey, and hopefully that will mean that I will see you in the next video. Hold on. And 300. Who is this girl? Who is this girl? She doesn't have 300 followers on TikTok. She has 34.